Good afternoon, everyone. Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, August the 23rd. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I hope you are having a fantastic week, and I hope that you were long today because big day today, basically straight up. Pretty much all day the S&P being up 48 points, ES 48. Look at the NASDAQ, 250 points. The Dow about 180. So big day straight up here, and that I think a lot of that was in anticipation of NVDA earnings, which come out in about 5 minutes actually. Which could be a big push higher for the NASDAQ, could really help out. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Here's NVIDIA. It was up 14 points today. See over here in the top left corner. And here's the NASDAQ. Same thing, straight up. And then NVIDIA right here. And we're waiting on the news. They have not actually reported yet, but it will be very shortly. Now that may or may not, I mean, I'm expecting a great quarter and all that kind of stuff, but a whole lot has been built into NVIDIA really crushing it this quarter and going higher and all that kind of stuff. And so a lot of, and I think they will. I think they'll have a great quarter and be bullish and all that kind of stuff. I have traded it bullish 2 or 3 times lately. I've got a bullish butterfly on right now. Very small size because I just don't know. Earnings, are always a roll of the dice. But again, this could be it's a really big, kind of pivot point for the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ needs to get a nice win here. The concern of mine is that, again, a lot of people are expecting some really good numbers out of this quarter, so they can't have any slip ups. There can't be any, the conference call it's got to go good and all that kind of stuff. So it's got to go well across the board for NVIDIA. But we'll see. Other than that, let's take a look at the ES here, and let's go out. In the last 20 days, of course, we have had just down. This is again a 20-day chart on the ES. Down. Is this the bottom? And we're starting to turn. This is the next leg up. We're going to buy the dip. Maybe. As with everything, it's kind of a wait and see game. We're looking here. Of course, tonight is NVIDIA in a few minutes. On Friday, we've got the Jackson Hole Summit starts tomorrow, and on Friday, Powell speaks at like 10 in the morning on Friday Eastern time, and that will be a tricky situation because he's got to calm fears that they're not going to keep raising rates, and I don't know if he will be able to do that. So he could say the wrong thing and really spook the market, or say the right things and we could go higher. But let me show you where we are right. And after that, so that's this Friday. Next week is just kind of normal stuff, but then we get over into August, and on the 13th we have CPI, which is next big inflation number. 14th is PPI, and then on the 20th is next Fed meeting, and that's when they will do policy and all that kind of stuff. So a lot going on out around that meeting time. Now between now and then, let's check this out. We might be in limbo here. This is the ES. Matter of fact, let me switch it over to SPX. And as you can see, this is that's our 50-day moving average, and you see the 20-day coming into the 50-day. We're below it. That is likely a spot, honestly, that we get rejected from. But again, it's going to depend on what happens in some part with NVIDIA and the NASDAQ. It's going to have a lot to do with what Powell says. But we might be in kind of a chop mode, waiting on the next Fed meeting. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. If we get over here, put my grab candles and wave up. So check this out. We might be in a kind of in a lull period like this for a little while, waiting on that next Fed meeting, waiting on CPI and all that kind of stuff. We got maybe 3 weeks ahead of all that stuff, or in between now and then, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So we could get into another kind of consolidation period. Again, we're kind of at, back once again at the fork in the road, because Powell comes out Friday and says, looks like inflation's under control. We're not going to have to do anything. Boom, we go up. Powell says we're going to have to stick to our guns and continue on the path that we're going and raise interest rates until we get inflation under control. Probably going down. And right where we are is the place that we get rejected from typically. If you're coming up from, these are 34 EMAs, if you're coming from the downside, if you sell off and you come back up into there, you typically get rejected. Come back down, come up and get rejected on the lower end, come back down, come up, get rejected, come down and get rejected. Sooner or later you do break through, but right here you come through. Look how many times we tested this level, and that's the bottom side of that 34 EMA. So this could test and test and test and test, and at some point we go through, but I don't know. We're guessing at this point because there's so much data out there, important stuff coming up. It's yet to be seen. I almost forgot we have payrolls. When do we have payrolls? Next Friday we have payrolls. So again, a lot of data coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we could go either way. I always talk about the indexes because that's the overall driving force of the market, the S&P, the NASDAQ. We talk about the RUT sometimes. The RUT's more small cap and mid cap. Here's the RUT. And as you can see, the RUT's kind of fallen apart as we've gotten through earnings season. So, again, not quite sure what to do here. And if this was any other chart and I did not know the name, and we come back up into these moving averages, I would short it right there. Back down at least to here. Come back up, I'd short it again there and continue that pattern, again, like here, 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 until it shifts and we get this way. But again, we'll see. I'm going to switch over here real quick to NVDA because it is time. I believe they report at there we go, at 4:20, and we're going straight up. That's a good sign. I'm going to put this back over here. And so we went from 473 to 508. Now that's actually inside the expected move. We had about a 45-point expected move. So 518, we're a little short of that, and now we're coming straight back down. So you guys get to see this in real time. It's not over until it's over, right? Now we've still got to have, this is very premature because we still have to have the conference call and all that kind of stuff, and anything can happen on the conference call, even overnight. We can get overnight, everyone will be looking at the quarter and and taking it apart piece by piece and nitpicking it, and they'll find little things wrong here or things that are good, and kind of make their decisions. All these analysts will look at it overnight and come out with price targets and all that stuff tomorrow. So again, it's still early, but initially that's at least it's up. It's not a big flush down. So, and let's see, while we're here, I'll show you. It's 16 billion plus or minus 2%. That's not good. 270 versus 209 estimate. That's a pretty good size beat. 13.5 beat 11.2. Again, it's still this just came out at 420. So we shall see. Anyway, exciting stuff, right? But as if you've listened to any of the videos that I've done over the last any length of time, lately keep powder dry and watch for these daily big moves and gaps based on the data that's coming out, because we're still in this really sensitive cycle of interest rate hikes. We're getting much closer to the end of that happening, so that will calm things down a lot when it does happen. But I don't know how much longer it's going to take, and that's all depending on inflation. So with that, I'm going to wind it up here. We'll keep an eye on NVIDIA, see what happens overnight. Let me show you the NASDAQ, and this is how it works. So NASDAQ straight up as well. NVIDIA trades on the NASDAQ, so NVIDIA goes up, NASDAQ goes up. And so we'll see what happens overnight here with this, and how that affects the trading tomorrow. So keep powder dry, use tight stops in this market till we kind of get figured out, get at least to the next Fed meeting and get past that. We'll probably have a lot more clarity. Until then, could be a coin toss either way, so we shall see. All right, well, thanks for the time, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you at the next update. Thanks. Take care.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me